So today we're going to upgrade the controller on the Yozma mini electric dirt bike. So we got a new package. This is from Iconic Cycles, link in the description. This is a Far Driver 72300 along with a harness kit and throttle and all that good stuff. This should be a relatively easy install considering that the Yozma already comes with a Far Driver, so the bolt pattern should match. So we're going to remove the controller as well as the existing wiring and then install all the Iconic parts. Domino throttle grips, Far Driver controller with the harness. This is a Far Driver 72300, so this can handle up to 72 volts. It also has internal Bluetooth capability, so you actually don't have to install a dongle on this thing. Here's the key ignition switch, 3-speed switch to change the power modes, as well as the full twist throttle. So first things first is we'll remove the panel, the Far Driver, and all the existing electronics that are tied to the Far Driver. All right, so the first thing you want to do before you start messing with the controller is to disconnect the battery. So be sure to remove the power cord from the battery for obvious reasons. You don't want to get electrocuted. After you do that, make sure you turn the bike on to make sure that there isn't any residual energy coming out of the controller. That's when you know that there's no power coming into the battery leads. Don't forget to do this step, really important. You don't want to get hurt. Alright guys, so we removed the controller from the mounts over here. So I realized in order to get the controller out, you probably have to access the other side of the plate, which is where the battery is. So I had to remove the battery. You'll probably have to do the same thing if one of your bolts won't come off on the other side. So just keep that in mind. So next we're going to remove basically the harness as well as the hall sensor connector and then the phase wires. We'll have to remove this cover over here to access the phase wires as well as the power wires. Make sure your battery is disconnected before you touch any of these wires. Really important. Okay, so let's do it. Alright guys, we removed the controller successfully, sort of. The mount is actually pretty much connected to this bolt over here. There's 2 threads, and if I force it, the threads are probably going to strip. Unfortunately, I'm going to try to find another spacer and bolt. I don't want to extract this thing right now, but should be fine for testing purposes. We can still install it with 3 bolts. Now, these are what the controllers look side by side. This is the stock controller. This is the 72300. As you can see, very similar, right? Same size, same bolt pattern. So the key differences are 70 amps on the current line and 240 amps on the phase. And then the rated voltage is 48 volts. For the 72300, you have 100 amps for the current line and 300 amps for the phase, as well as a 72 volt rated voltage. So basically, this controller can handle much more, as well as having the internal Bluetooth. So you can actually tune this thing without having to install a dongle or remove the dongle each time, because this won't allow you to ride the bike with the dongle installed. If you decide to upgrade to a bigger battery down the road, you won't have to upgrade the controller as well. You already have it. So you could do it kind of piecemeal instead of all at once. So anyway, let's install all the parts and see what happens. Alright, so now we have the Far Driver controller connected, all the phase wires are connected, make sure all the colors are right, positive and negative, make sure that's right, obviously. The new wiring harness is connected. Connectors slide right into the harness. There's no having to splice or anything like that. Throttle is connected, so the throttle wires are connected to the black, green, and red coming out of the harness. 3-speed ignition, that's connected to the blue, black, and yellow wires. And then the ignition is connected to the orange wire over here, as well as the pink and black wire. And that's pretty much all you need, okay? Another thing that we did was we put the battery back in, so that's connected. We also took the chain off of the motor. So to run the Far Driver tuning app, you want to remove the chain At least that's what Ryan Goodyear advised from Iconic Cycles, so I'll trust his judgment. I have the Far Driver app opened, so I'm going to switch on the ignition. Okay, you're going to hear some beeping from the Far Driver controller. So you're going to see the voltage right there on the battery. Open Pro settings, right? For the rated voltage, since we have the stock battery, we're going to change that to 48 volts. Hit OK. And then the pole pairs for the motor, we're going to change that to 5. And we're going to scroll down to Protect, and we're going to change low voltage Protect from 60.5 volts to 36.1 volts. Return to simple mode. We're going to go down to graph, and we're in auto learn right now. This 3-speed switch is in reverse, so 1 is actually 3. For now, we're going to set it to 3, the highest setting. And then we're going to auto learn and calibrate the motor. So here we go. And just hold the motor down, and just hold the throttle down. Keep holding it. It's going to stop, slow down. Just keep holding it down. Just let it do its thing. Now it's going in reverse, and it is stopping. Oop. Now it's going in reverse, I think. Just keep holding it down until it stops. Okay, that is calibrated, and we're going to go back to our parameters, Open Pro, and so the beeping is stopped. So from here, we're actually going to talk to our buddy Ryan Goodyear, send him the parameters, and see what he suggests for tweaking.
One debt to society later.
All right, so we got the new tune from Ryan Goodyear for the Far Driver, and he tweaked a few things. We ran auto learn again. I'm not going to go through all of the settings in detail because frankly, I don't really understand every single setting. Plenty of videos if you want to learn more about the Far Driver. I'm going to scroll through the tune real quick. Definitely hit pause if you want to copy these settings into your own Far Driver. But basically, this is our new tune with the Far Driver 72300. After we ran auto learn, and Ryan Goodyear took a stab at some of the new settings, okay? So hit pause if you want to copy down these settings, but that's about it. Now that we have the tune installed, this sounds pretty good. Let me just run it here. Yeah, that thing sounds, that thing definitely sounds like it's woken up. We're gonna put the bike back together. We're gonna put the chain back on. We're gonna put the ignition switch on. We're gonna put the 3-speed switch, mount this guy, and then we're gonna put the throttle on, obviously, and the grips. So we're gonna do that real quick, and then we're gonna take the bike out and do a test ride.
Okay, so we're gonna check out the Yozma here. It swapped over to the 72300 Far Driver controller, and we have a tune on it that Ryan Goodyear made up for us, and we're just going to check it out and see what happens, see if it cuts off or see if it makes it any faster. So 3, 2, 1. It definitely gained some low end. I need to get a better launch than that though. All right, 37, 38, I see 39, I don't know, maybe I did. We're gonna have a big downhill now. In 3, 2, 1. And this is uphill. Already doing 25, 30. 30, oh yeah, it's much quicker than it was before. Kind of feeling like it hit a wall. 34. I think that's all she wrote on the uphill test, but still pretty good. 34 mile an hour, that's respectable. That is a good speed for this bike. Definitely doesn't need to go much faster than that.
Okay, first ride with the Yozma, new tune. Shout out to Ryan Goodyear for giving us the tune. Remember guys, the big key to this is removing the chain when you actually do the auto learn. So I think that upped all the settings. And the best part is if you do want to kind of like fine tune the settings, the Bluetooth is internal to the 72300 controller. So you just have to open up the app. You don't need a dongle and you're good to go. Okay, so here we go. Let's try power level 1. So yeah, way more power off the line on the low end. Yeah, 1 definitely feels way more woken up, but still a smooth ramp up. That feels really good. Okay, power level 2. Oh yeah. Yeah, the bike just feels more alive, I guess, with the new controller. And then power level 3. Just way more. Feels like way more, I don't know, just like more RPMs going into the motor. Let's go back to 2, see how it balances. Oh yeah. Just way easier to lift the bike up. I think the tune is really good if you're experienced. You still want it just a little bit smoother or maybe not as much torque on the low end, you could change it easily. And if you decide to upgrade the battery, this kind of future-proofs it. This controller will be able to accept a bigger battery up to 72 volts. So anyway, let's throw it to Sully and see what he does on this thing.
Yeah, so we did the Dragy test with this thing and I definitely noticed a bit of improvement in the low end. The top end seems to be very similar, but the low end definitely picked up quite a bit. So we'll start out in mode 1. All of them have been raised up a little bit from what they were before, but yeah, we'll just see what they're all about. So starting in 1. So now 1 feels a lot more like 2. It's pretty smooth with the power delivery, but still enough to pop it up and keep it up just from little micro throttle movements. Like you don't have to like floor it when it starts coming down. Because sometimes when it comes down, you gotta absolutely floor it to keep it back up, like there. I didn't floor it. But yeah, so 1's pretty good. Let's kick it up into 2. See what 2's like. Yeah, definitely pretty good. Oh yeah, a lot more like 3 now. It's way faster. Way faster. All right. All right, well, let's see what 3's like to wheelie now. Oh yeah. You just crack the throttle, you don't even have to pick it up. Let's see. Even at some speed, so now when you were moving, if you floored it, it hardly even picked up the tire. Now you can just, I mean, that was literally just by cracking the throttle. I mean, I leaned back a little, but let me try not leaning back at all. So not leaning back at all, got a little slower. So it doesn't take as much effort to wheelie, for sure. So let's try a few different tricks now that I'm a little more warmed up and talk about it. So yeah, you can definitely, I think you can feel it more on the initial crack of the throttle, like there's more behind the bike, but let's try a knee knock here. Yeah, pretty solid, pretty solid. Now let's try a seat stander. Woo. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, definitely enjoy that little extra down low power where I hardly have to really even crack the throttle to keep it up anymore. So that'd be the plus side of getting this controller. And then also it sets you up for when you're ready to get a new battery. You can just get a 72 volt battery and you know what your limits are for the battery. So you can shop within the limits of the controller and you know how to have a balanced setup.